Howdy y'all, it's Kathy from Rust Paper Scissors, and today I wanted to make a video talking about how to make ephemera customized for your journal, putting your own style into the ephemera that you make. And I just have some ideas and want to show some examples of tags that I've made using some of these ideas, and then we'll make some tags. The reason I wanted to make the video was I wanted to talk about digitals and making them your own, and then I wanted to talk about utilizing some of the products that I have in my shop, which I'm highlighting the rusted tags, and I sell all these tags. These are a little bit larger tags. They're 3x4. These are 2.5x4. And then these tags are all 2.5. These are a little heavier than these tags. These are a little lighter, but they're fun to use. They're sturdy. You can add paper to the back and use it as a journaling spot. I really like using them. I think they work great in grungy journals, steampunk journals, Halloween journals, even Christmas. But I'll show you some examples. I'm going to show you some grungy or steampunk tags, and we'll make a couple. I'm going to show you some Halloween tags, and then I'll show you some Christmas tags. And also the ideas that I have on how to make your journals your own. That's what I want to talk about first of all, is using digitals and labels to be customized for your specific product. And I think everybody knows this, but you know, what you print your digitals on or make your labels out of, you know, makes a difference in the final outcome. And there's, you know, you can print on cardstock, typewriting paper, watercolor paper, tracing paper. There's all sorts of options that give you different results. So I wanted to talk about something that I've started to use quite a bit, is this Avery clear matte shipping labels. It's a full sheet label that you can print on, and the images I think look great. I also like to print on a full sheet label paper that is looks like craft cardstock. It's called the craft color. It's not really craft paper, but I think the images really print out well, and you can use them in different projects. What I'm talking about is the clear labels. You know, you can see through. If there's a clear spot in the image, you're going to see your background. You can distress these images with the distress ink. So there's just different ways you have to think about using them. And I'll show you some examples. What I'm talking about. This is an example of an image that was cut out of the clear sticker paper. Now, I'm not sure if you can see the image, but you see it also shows the background. And I don't feel like that is super successful. There's some of the clear images that look better, but this one I didn't feel like was good. So what I did was I cut it out of the craft paper, and I added it to some fun foam, sticky backed fun foam, to give it just a little bit of dimension. And then I added a little rusted wire to the bottom here, and I feel like that image looks much better. I could have cut the fun foam better, so I have an example of that later, what I did. But it just, I think that gives it a different idea, but it's just, again, a different look. You have to be aware of what you're printing on to make your tag. And then this is another example of taking the clear label paper, and then I distressed the image with vintage photo, and so you can see the it's not quite so opaque or so transparent, excuse me, it's more opaque. And then this is the same image printed on the craft paper on a tag, and you just see, the two different looks that you get. So I just want to encourage you to experiment and make some of these tags and images your own. Another thing that I like to do to make my ephemera customized to a specific journal is perhaps make my own labels. And one of the things that I like to use is the Avery website. They offer, hundreds of different labels. And you can buy the individual labels, or what I like to do, because that gets expensive when you buy, 4 or 5 different types of labels. If you buy the clear shipping labels, you can print them out on that. You don't have to print them on label paper. You can print them on your typing paper. You can print them on cardstock. You can print them on the full sheet label paper. So there's a lot of options to using the Avery templates. And what you do is you either edit one individual little label, or you can edit them all. So there is a little bit of a learning curve, but it's fun to go and experiment. The nice thing is, if you have a specific word you want to use, or a quote, a number, you can customize it this way. And I just wanted to show you an example. This is the template. This would get 80 labels to a page. So I was able to make 80 different labels. And in fact, these are 2 that I just put 2 in the same label so I could cut them out and make them smaller. But this is just an example of what you could print and use, and then cut them out and use them. This is an example of printing them on the specific label paper, and that works the same too. It's just different, but that's an example. Then I mentioned there were several types of labels. Excuse me, I'm having my throat's acted up. Just a moment. Maybe a little Dr. Pepper will help me get through this. This shows that you could make 20 labels on a single page. These are 1.5 inch circles. So whatever size circle you need, you can find a label to make it. And then what you will do on Avery is you insert a text box, or you insert an image, and you size it to fit your label. So it works very well. This is just an example of some labels that I made. These are the 2-inch circles that would fit in a 2¼ inch metal rim tag. So what I did was I made the templates, and I input the text that I wanted to use, and I sized it so it would fit in the circle. This is one for a Halloween text talking about the haunted forest, the witch's castle. And then this is for Christmas. I like to use these in a journal with Santa on a piece of vintage map paper, and I'm charting his course. So I like to use those. So that's just an example. The reason I put the little circle here is I found that the clear label paper is not easy to cut out with a hand circle punch. So I add the circle so I can cut it out by hand. Now, on the craft colored paper, you can cut those out with a circle punch, no problem. But the clear, it's just, it doesn't work. So that's why I add the circle on there. It gives me a reference on where to cut. Then this is an example of a sheet that I made of the small circles. And these are I believe the 3/4 inch circle. And this is what, when I cut them out and added them to a metal rim tag, I distressed the image, so you can distress them and they would be fun in a journal. So that's just another example of something you could make to make your ephemera more personalized. And then these are just some ideas: the spooky, the creepy, the theory, results, just different things you might use. Whatever works in your journal, whatever the theme of your journal is, you can make this your own. And then this is an example of, I made these to look like kind of like a faux typewriter. And I sell those in my shop, but I don't sell them on the sticker paper. I sell them on black cardstock and dark brown cardstock, so they look like typewriter keys. But this is kind of that same thing, but this is a page where I put all the letters that I needed, and I was going to make this tag. This tag, I like to use the guest checks as the background for my tags because it already has a background. It has some lines, maybe some numbers, some words. You can use the back. So I love to use these as tags. And what I wanted to make a Happy Halloween tag. So I'm just going to show you real quickly how you can do that. Like again, I cut out the letters and I put the distress ink on there. These are done on, I have recently rust colored some of the tags, and I really like those. So this is on the rust colored tag. If you can see that, it looks a little bit more than just brown. It looks a little rusty. So what I did was I added the letter, the letter, and then on the back I added some double-sided tape. All I'm going to do is take that off. And then what I do when I'm sometimes using the double-sided tape, I'll take a glue stick and I'll also glue stick over that. And then that just gives you a little wiggle room. So if you don't place it in exactly the right spot, you can move it. So that's just, and then I'm going to put that there and we're done. And now we have a tag. This could be a Happy Halloween tag. It could be Happy Thanksgiving, Happy New Year, Happy Birthday. But I think it works very well. So that was a fun little way to use the Avery website and make these images your own. This is an example. Now, you could do a sheet where all the circles are the same, or if you use a full sheet label, you can add the different circles and size them the way you want them, and you can use a variety of circles and words on a page where you might not need 35 31s, you might not need 35 creepies, but you might want a specimen or black cat or spooky. And so you can pick and choose how many labels you make when you use the full sheet and add the images on there. And there are some fun images and things on the website, but I wanted to show you some tags that I made just using this idea of the website. A little bit wicked. Here's one of the creepy, black magic, black cat. I also wanted to talk about, this is a digital image, and this is one that I made, bone collector. Now, you can use the hole and add it to the page like that, or through a maybe ball and chain or twine, some way you can attach it that way. But you may want the tag to stick out of the side of a journal. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I had this journal and I wanted it to perhaps stick out, if you orient the image with the hole where how you're going to hang it, you can make it the individual project how you want it. So that's just an example of some of the tags that you can create and ways you can make them your own, again using the full sheet label paper where you can make a variety of sizes on one page. Another thing I know people like to do is make vintage labels. And so what I did on this sheet was I just took a 2x4 label and I added a image of a rectangle, two rectangles, and you can color them. And so I did a red and a blue. And then I just demonstrated that you could add a word, you could add an image. On the Avery site, they have a lot of floral images, so you could make a floral label, and they look really pretty. You could, fussy cut that or just cut it out as a square. This is showing the same label with the blue outline, and then I added just, again, an Avery image that they have on their website, just a stock image. So that's just an idea of making the vintage journals. Then this is just showing you the same thing printed on cardstock. This is the cream colored cardstock as opposed to the just typing paper. So that's that example. Then this is an example of making, again, the kind of vintage labels, but I used the small ones. I added the colors. This is blue, red and blue, and then there's a green, there's a light blue, there's just all different kind of colors. I just wanted to show you that there's so many options that you can use to customize the ephemera for your journal. So I just wanted to show you that page. And then this is, again, just some examples of what Avery offers. There is on the website, you can make numbers sequential, so you can put the range of numbers that you want. And if you want it like every 2, 4, 6, 8, or if you wanted 3, 6, 9, you can control how you do that. But it's a great way to add numbers to make a number label and make them all different. If you have a special number, you can make them all the same. And then this is just an example, again, of inputting some images from the Avery site. This is an example of, let's see if you can see that, just words and the different fonts that they offer and the different sizes you can size them. Another thing you can do is you could make a label for your stamp. And what you do is you take a rubber stamp and you take the size of it and you make the Avery image the size that you need for your stamp, and then you print those and then you stamp your a rubber stamp. So there's a way to make your own labels that way. Then this next page is just showing you some of the images that are in the Avery gallery and things you can use, and you can resize these, but this is just an example of some of the things you could print. And then this is an example of making just different labels. This is a round one, and you can curve the text. You can size their label. You can size this label and make, color the background, put your text in there. So that's just some examples. The other thing about Avery is that they have already made templates. So if you found a template that you liked and wanted to use that as a label or a tag, you could. This was just an example of a 2x4 label that they had already made, and then it comes with this little text insert. But you can customize all those images. You can take that out, or you can take the whole image out and just have a plain label. So there's several different ways you can manipulate some of the stock images that they have, and stock pre-made labels. That's interesting. This was an example of a round one where the background was already made. They did the brown background and then some chevron pattern and then the butterfly, and then I added my own store name, Rust Paper Scissors, and then my motto, Rust is a must, and I rust so you don't have to. So that's just some ideas of that. Then another thing that I like to use in the Avery website is just these. They're kind of like icons or emojis, but they're danger labels. I think they're in Avery, they're under a tab called GHS, but I just think these work great in a Halloween journal. And this is just, again, I used a full sheet template. I added all these different images that they have, and I resized them, so I got several on a page, and then I just cut them out how I need them. So it's again a great way to utilize a lot of different images on one sheet of paper, and again it's a way to customize your ephemera. Then this is it printed on the craft label paper, and I just think this works very well. This is it also printed on the clear label paper. This works too, although you have to remember that the background of these are going to be, if it's not colored, it's going to be transparent. You can color these with distressed ink, so you could make that background, a little bit more stand out, not quite so transparent. So that's the different labels that you could use from a pre-made, the pre-made images that they have, or they're called their gallery images. The next thing I wanted to talk about, I am not super savvy with the computer. I call it the confuser, and like when I make videos, I cannot edit them, so I don't know a lot, but I do know that I can take some digital images and make them more my own, and I do that. I don't have Adobe or Photoshop. I've tried Canva, but I haven't done a lot on Canva, so there are some options that you can use to make these digital images your own. But what I do is I like to put them into an Excel spreadsheet. When I worked, I did a lot of Excel spreadsheets, so I feel like I'm pretty comfortable with using Excel. But what I like to do is when I first open up a spreadsheet, I will go to the home page, and under page layout, I'll select custom margins, and I take all the margins away, and then that gives me a larger area to work with or print on. And the other thing I like to do is I like to add a ruler so I can size my images. So if you go under, again, the home page, if you go under view and page layout, if you select page layout, they will, it brings up a spreadsheet that has a ruler on the top and the side, and that allows you to size the images to the size of your tag, and it's really handy. So I do that, but what I do is I will take a digital print and I'll copy it and paste it onto an Excel spreadsheet. And then if you need to change the background or you change the background color, you can go to picture format and select, they have tons of colors that you can select. So you can customize this to match your journal. Now, if you didn't like the whole background being blue, what you could do is you could fussy cut out just the image of the pumpkin. But there's several different things you can do. I just want you to get to thinking about images in a different way. And then also under picture format, you can make the background more transparent. This is another example of just importing a digital and resizing it. And then I also changed the background color. Also on Excel, if you don't like the title here, like it says Happy Halloween, if you wanted to say that Mr. Bones or, skeleton or something, you could add a text box and you can either make the text box a different color or you can try and match the color of your background. So there's several options. You can fill the text box, you can take the outline completely off the text box, or you can add a thicker outline, you could add a broken outline. There's just several different things. Just what I'm wanting to do is to encourage you to think different ways about digital prints, about labels, about making your ephemera match your specific product or your specific style. And my style is pretty minimal, and you'll see on some of the tags that we do that it's, I just do very little, and some people do a lot. So just think about using your digital images in a different way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up and we're going to show some grungy tags that I've made, and then I'm going to make a couple of tags, and then after that I'll do some Halloween and some Christmas, just to give you an idea of some variety. I'll be right back. Okay, these are the grungy or steampunk tags that I made, and I just want to go through them briefly, and then we'll make a couple of tags. This is the first tag that I made, and it was printing this gear onto the craft paper, sticky paper, and then what I did where the glass would be, I heat embossed, and then when it cooled down, I cracked it. And then when I added it to the tag, I added these rusted little tiny brads, and I just made that tag. And then on the back, I added just some tea stained writing paper and just a cute little tag. So that's an example. This is the same example of using a gear, and I added the rusted tags. I cracked it. I added a rusted fender washer and a rusted brad. I sell those in my shop, but that's just a different look. Again, it's the same idea. This is an example of the same paper and label paper and image. I added on this one, it's called liquid glass. It's kind of like liquid, what's Tim Holtz? I can't think of the name of it right now. Glossy Accents. It's a lot like Glossy Accents, but it's a brand called Liquid Glass. I think Mod Podge makes a dimensional glaze, but I added that again just where the glass was, and I added the rusted brads. Then I had an idea, and we're going to make this tag real quick. Was the same idea, taking the image and heat embossing it and cracking it. Then I added it to some fun foam, a sticky backed fun foam, and I like to put that on my tags, and it just makes it stand up a little bit. It gives it a little dimension. I also wanted to add a brad here in the center. So what I did was I want to make a hole here in the center of this arrow or gauge, And I'm just gonna see if I can go through that and make a hole. And then I'm going to add the brad. And again, this is just showing you ways to embellish some of the things that you do. It's just a second, it's not big enough. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger. So that's adding a rusted brad on there, and then we're just going to glue it down. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. And what it does is it just gives you a little bit of dimension here on the side. If you look, and I'll show you another one that I have glued down, but that's going to take a minute. I'm going to have to put something on it to weigh it down, and we'll look at that later. This is another example of taking an image, a digital imaging, adding the liquid glass. I added the brads on the side, and again, this one I added the fun foam, and so it gives it just a little bit of dimension, and I think that adds to the tag. If you can see that, I don't know if it makes a difference. This is another example of taking an image and just making it your own. The only thing I did with this was I added the liquid glass to the where the glass would be on the gauges. And then the other thing I did was I added fender washer and brads along all these images, and just makes it stand out. So it looks like, you know, you have quite a bit of dimension on there. And then I added some rusted wire and went around with the rusted wire. I think this would be a great topper for a journal. And so just some ideas of what you can do. We're going to make this tag real quick. I wanted to demonstrate that, let's see if I can find it. I'm trying to find, I'm going to turn it off for just a second. Okay, I found the fun foam I was looking for. This is just an image that I printed out onto the sticker paper. I want to add, at this point, I want to add these little gears. I get these at Michael's. They sell them. They probably sell them other places too. But they're these tiny little gears. And I want to add those to the image. And then I want to back it again on the fun foam so it stands up. So what I did was, with the fun foam, I take the image and I turn it over and I trace around it. And then when I cut it out, I cut inside the image the lines that I've drawn, so it makes it just a little bit smaller, so it doesn't stick out like it did in that first tag that I showed you, where the this one, where the fun foam shows through the back. If you cut it out a little bit smaller, you won't have that problem. So let's see if we can make this tag real quick. And I'm going to add the little brads here. I'm going to put them where I want them, and then I'll make a hole. Not sure if you can see me. I'm just going to make a hole on the fun foam. So I get it lined up where I want it and just make a hole. then I'm going to add a rusted mini brad. You could glue this. I'm just trying to do this quickly, so I'm just going to stick this on there. Well, I say quickly. And then I just open the brad up in the back. And then we'll do the same on this one. I'll center it where I want it. I make my hole. And then we add the brad. Well, it's usually not that difficult. So this is the fun foam that I cut out. It's sticky on the back. I'm going to take this label and I'm going to, place it on there so you don't see the fun foam. And we'll do that real quickly. So I just peel this off, and it comes off pretty quickly. They've got a little booger or something there. And then this is just, I'm going to open this up and take the backing paper off and then open it back up. Again, on camera, that's why I don't do a lot of tutorials. It's some of the stuff that I do, it's not easy to make on camera. And then you just pull that off. Then I'm going to take this fun foam and I'm going to line it up where I want it. It'd probably be easier on the back if I did it this way. I'm going to center the fun foam. And then now it's glued down. So there you have that. And then all you're going to do is take this fun foam backing off. And then I'm going to add some glue. I like to add glue to it just to make it stick a little bit more, just in case. And then you're just going to line it up where you want it on your tag. I want to leave it so I can kind of use that hole, put something in that hole, either some string or maybe a brad. But just that little bit of dimension adds a lot to it. And then you have the fun foam dimension on the side, but you can't really see it because it's black and it's cut down just a little bit smaller. So I think that's a great little tag, a quick little tag that's kind of your own. And then the last little tag that I wanted to make was I wanted to again show you a tag on a different surface. So this is the rusted tag, and then this is corrugated cardboard. So I've done the same thing. I cut out a gear, I added the fun foam, I glued it to some corrugated cardboard. I'm struggling today with the words, and I apologize. Now what I'm going to do is I want to figure out where I want my little rusted washer to go, and then I'll just make a kind of like a little indent, and then I know I'm going to put it there. Then I'll add that, and again, this could be something that you glued if you wanted. If you wanted to just tie a ribbon, you could do that. So there you have just a quick little tag that you could write on the back, and you've changed it up quite a bit by, making this the glass and then adding the rusted elements. This again would be, I'm not going to do this one, but real quick, it's just a cardboard, cardstock, and I printed the image. I added 3 of the tiny gears in the center of the gears, and then you could just add that to a manila tag, and you have that tag very quick and easy. So those are the kind of grungy tags. I'm going to stop the camera again and set up for Halloween, and then we'll do Christmas. Thank you. Okay, these are some examples of tags that I have made for Halloween, and this is just an example of a metal tag, and I embossed the image of the crow on there, and I thought that looked beautiful. This is just a tag where I added a cutout of a crow, and then that's again the embossing with, so that's very easy to do. If you heat emboss with the metal, be careful because obviously it gets very hot, and you want to use tweezers or a paper, a clothespin, something to, hold it so you don't have to hold it because it gets hot. So just be careful. And then this last one was just an example of taking a label on the metal rim tag, adding the D-ring fastener to the top, the ball and chain, I rust that, and then adding the picture of the crow. So I thought that was a neat tag. The next tag I wanted to show are these Avery danger label tags. So this is just an example of the tag, the label on a rusted tag, and this is that craft paper. This, I believe, was the clear paper, and I went over it with the distressed ink, so that's what it looks like when you use that on a rusted tag. This is, again, just an example of the danger radioactive on a tag, and I think that would look neat in a Halloween journal. Inhalation hazard, fun tag for your journal. Infectious substance, that sounds like Halloween. Here's another example of using the label, the Avery label, and then I just added a gear up here, and I added a rusted brad, so it makes it just a little different. This is again the example of the clear label, and I distressed it, and then this is an example of the radioactive where it's printed on the craft paper, and then I added paper on the back. And then this is just the infectious substances. I think that's what it says. Spontaneously combustible, that's what it says. So those were just 2 tags that I made. So I also wanted to demonstrate real quickly what it would look like on a different substrate, I guess, your tag being different. So this one, I took the little dangerous when wet, and I glued it onto some fun foam, and then I glued it onto the corrugated cardboard. What I'm going to do is add a eyelet, and we'll just make a little tag that you can hang. So what I'm going to do is I think y'all all know how to do this, but I'll show it real quick. Just add a hole, and then I'm going to add my eyelet, and then we're just going to crimp it, and you have a little tag. That's cute. Again, it's personalized. You made, you did this and you sized it to the size you need. This one we're going to do, I think we're going to do it this way and just show you something different. And we'll, again, put the eyelet here at the top. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not in focus, but there's the little eyelet. And then we're just going to crimp it down. And then we're going to take, again, this is an Avery image, and I distressed it. I think the light's better here. And we're just going to glue that onto the tag. And just show you a different look. That's my whole premise of this video, is just to give you ideas to make things look different, you know, customize your things. So we'll let that glue. I'm going to add a ball and chain. I'll let that, we'll add the ball and chain to this one, and just shows you a different look. A fun way to add your own little touch to. So then you've got that, and that's cute. And then you have this one, you could do the two together. It's not quite dry yet, but you have those two tags. So that's just a different look than, let's say, this metal tag. So it just gives you some options. Okay, and then the last group of tags for this is going to be these, and it's just quickly, I'll run through these, showing you this craft label paper that I did. This is an example of the clear label paper. Now, again, you cannot see the image super well on the clear paper because the background, again, is transparent. But I think it works on this tag because it just kind of looks creepy. And so I would probably use that tag. I like them both. They're just different. This is an example of just taking a digital and adding a label on it. I used a label maker, and if you'll notice that the label is shiny. I'm going to show you some other labels that I made with the matte label paper, and if you look at these, it's not shiny. Nowhere on there is it shiny. So I kind of like the matte label paper better, but you know, if you have a label maker and you don't mind the shiny, it's quick and easy. And then on the back, I just added labels that said name, date, time, theory. So that was fun. And then this is just, again, the same image. This is, again, the digital with the numbers on there, label. This is an example of printing it on the label paper, adding the fun foam. It just gives it a little bit of dimension. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but it just adds a little something by sticking up. Then again, this is an example where I wanted to show you what an image would look like on a different tag. And this is just some corrugated cardboard. It's the same, it's the image printed on the label paper. I added a number. I added this rusted D-ring fastener. I added a little small little key. And I think that makes a great tag. You could put a different topper up there if you wanted. And then on the back, I added the name, date, and results. This is, again, made from the Avery labels that I printed out earlier that I showed you. And they're matte, but you were able to distress the label with the distress ink. And I think that looks nice. Very good. Okay, so those are the Halloween. I want to talk about just some other things that you can do. This was an example of just taking a library card holder and adding the labels, negatives, date, time, occasion, and then I just added some negatives in there. And then I did the same on this one. Again, it's using that matte paper where you don't see any shine. And this was just some negatives that I got from a friend. Her aunt had an MRI, and I cut them up and added them here. So I thought that was neat for a Halloween journal. Something fun to do, something different. I wanted to just make this little tag real quick. This is an example of the clear label paper that I distressed with the vintage photo. And then I'm going to put it onto just this plain little library card holder. And it's going to make a great little tag. So I'm just going to slip that off, and you just rub it down. And you have a cute little tag holder. And again, sometimes these tags are a little bit heavier, so this would be a great holder for one of the metal rim tags, and I think that works well. Another thing that I like to do is use the struggling here. I apologize. I'm not. We'll do something else. I'm sorry. This is an example of the just taking the labels that you've copied from a digital print and then adding it to a file folder. And then this is just, I had a digital kit called the Asylum, and they had several pages that you could use and with the picture on there. Well, I just wanted the picture because I wanted to add them to my booklet. And so I added them with the rusted staples, and I think that turned out well. So that's just an idea. I like to make what I call the tearaway tags, and it's just the guest checks that I've added a few things to, and and I was just going to show you quickly how I make those. If you want them to keep them as, you can keep this as an individual booklet, or you can tear the tags apart individually and use them individually in your paper, or in your journal, excuse me. If you want to keep them as a book, you may want to reinforce the perforated edge on the back here. So I added just some sellotape that I aged, and all you're going to do is just put several of these together, maybe like 5, and then I'm just going to staple them with the rusted staples. And you have a quick little tag booklet, I call it a tearaway tag booklet, that you can embellish. And so that was fun. And then this is just another example. This is printing on tracing paper. This is a rusted metal prong fastener. And then here I used the labels from Avery, and they're not shiny, and just cut them out and added them to, this is a little holiday journal insert. So the other thing I wanted to demonstrate was some tags that I made really for Halloween, but they're kind of a Wizard of Oz theme. I'm going to stop it for just a second, and I'll set those up. Since I've been working on Halloween, I always think of The Wizard of Oz as a Halloween movie. Growing up in the 60s, that was the one Sunday night you got to stay home from church and watch TV. You got to watch The Wizard of Oz. So I have a lot of fond memories. But like I say, I always think of Halloween because it talks about witches and spooks, and I love it. So I've made some tags, and I put them together kind of as a tag cluster or collage, or it's just a grouping of tags that's about the Wizard of Oz. And so this was the first one that I made, and it was just, again, a picture of Elmira Gulch and, the quintessential witch growing up. And then on the back, I found a digital print that said Flying Monkeys Delivery Service. And so I love that. And that's printed on sticker paper. So I just added those. And then again, I made a tag. And this was from The Cowardly Lion, where he says, I do believe in spooks. I do believe in spooks. I do. So I wanted to add that. I thought that was cute. And then this tag is one of the Avery labels where it says dangerous when wet. And then the next tag is the Wicked Witch melting. And it says I'm melting over there if you can see it. And so she's set up on the foam and gives it a little bit more dimension. And then in my stash I had a stamp that was a bicycle, and I thought that looked like the bicycle she was riding when she took Toto away from Dorothy. So I like to add that and thought that was a cute tag. So I thought that was a fun little grouping of the Wizard of Oz tags. Then I wanted to demonstrate again what it looks like on a different tag. This is just, again, that MDF board, I believe. I got these at Michael's, not Michael's, Hobby Lobby. And it's just black, and then the back is the Flying Monkeys. So that's just the difference, how it can look different. Another thing I wanted to demonstrate quickly, and I could add to that grouping, was just taking some of the distress ink, and I'm going to distress the edges of this label that I made, and just show you how easy it is to use these and make these. It's a lot of fun. So now I'm gonna, again, you could orientate it where the hole is at the top, or you could do it on the side if you wanted it to attach on the side. I'm going to do it at the top because I'll probably attach it to that other cluster of tags. Sometimes it's difficult getting the paper off. I'm going to stop it. Okay, what I do is I get the paper started, and then I'm going to take my tag, and again, I want the hole at the top, so I'm just going to center it and make it straight, and then I'm going to push that down, and then I tear that off, and now you have a tag. So it's very easy, and I would add that to that grouping. So I just wanted to show that. And then these are the other tags that I have from the Wizard of Oz, and I'll just go through them very quickly. But this was Glinda, the Good Witch, and I just demonstrated her. This is printed on the clear paper, and it says, are you a good witch or a bad witch? And then this is on the metal tag with the craft paper, and again, are you a good witch or a bad witch? I thought that would be great for a journal. Then this is an example of Dorothy, and I printed her on the craft label paper, and then I printed it on the clear label paper, and I added it to this graphed paper because I liked the blue in the background and the blue in her dress, and just wanted to show you two different ideas. It's just a tag, but they're all good, so it's just what you like. This is an example of a digital print. I added the text box. I colored the back of the text box to match the moon. And so there's just, there's a lot of things you can do. This was, again, done on the Excel spreadsheet. And so I just want to encourage you to use the different options that you have. This is an example of the flying monkeys. Oh my gosh, the monkey scared me so bad when I was a kid. But this is, the craft paper. This is the clear label paper, again, on the blue graph paper, and again his coat is blue, so I thought that worked well. And then this is just using a guest check as a tag and adding the monkey, and you could write about it on the side. So that's an example. Now this is the Tin Man, and this is I'm going to show you the difference. This is again the craft paper. This is the Tin Man on the matte label, clear label paper. I really like this one. I think it looks like a tin type. I don't even think you can see the label at all. And I think that was just really successful. So, just wanted to give you an idea of different looks that you can accomplish. And then I did the Cowardly Lion, and I just on craft paper. And then again, that's that same tag where it said I do believe in spooks. And then I did it also on a guest check just to show you a different option. And then this was the scarecrow. I kind of ran out of time and I only made one scarecrow and he's on a guest check. And then one of my favorite quotes again is, some people without brains do an awful lot of talking, don't they? So that's the Wizard of Oz tag groupings. And so I'm going to stop it again. We're going to do Christmas and then it'll go pretty quick. Just a moment. Okay, we'll go through these pretty quickly, but this is really just some examples, no demonstrations of tags and what you can do with them. This is just one of my favorite tags. This is a sticker from Hobby Lobby, done again on a metal rim tag, on a metal tag, and then this is just done on a MDF, I think it is, or a wooden tag. And again, you could add paper to the back. You could make these an ornament on your Christmas tree. You could use them as a gift label. So there's several different ways you could use them. Then this is again that same image, but I added this treasury tag, and you could hang that on a page with the treasury tag. So that was that example. Again, here is the just a tag from Hobby Lobby, a little image, and then I show you again on the wooden tag. Again, you could write on the back, you could add a piece of paper and write your child's wish list. It could, again, be an ornament on the Christmas tree, a tag, a gift tag. So that's that example. Then this is just, again, the clear sticker paper. I added, it's a Buddy the Elf, What's Your Favorite Color? That's one of my favorite movies. And again, you could print that on the craft paper and put it on a metal tag. I just hadn't done that. Then these are a couple of tags that I did for about the Grunge. And this was ho, ho, ho and stuff. And again, you could use that several different ways. Then this one is just a Grunge, and it says, maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more. So they have that one. Then I wanted to show these tags where I heat embossed again on them. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. This one is Jingle All the Way, and I have a little rusted jingle bell on there. And then this is, again, a Holly Jolly Christmas with a little brad and some string. So those would be a great journal topper. So just a different way to use them. This is one of my favorite tags, and I love to put these in my Christmas journals. It's a Wonderful Life is one of our favorite movies. We watch it every Christmas Eve. And this is the scene where Zuzu says, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wing. So I added a little rusted jingle bell on there. I don't know if you can hear it. And normally what I do is I sign the back and put the date. So again, this could be a ornament. It could be in your journal. Just a way to personalize it. Just some memory that you have of Christmas. So I love that tag. And then again, this is just another sticker tag that I added to the metal tags. And then this is a topper. It is corrugated cardboard, some ribbon twist paper, some fabric, and then a metal tag, and then the digital print. And again, that would be a great topper for a journal. I know this was a long video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of it. I would appreciate it if you left me a comment, if you leave me a comment, or if you would tell me if you like the idea of the tag groupings like the Wizard of Oz. That might be something that I could put in my Etsy shop and sell, the grouping of those tags all for a Wizard of Oz journal or a Halloween journal. So if you told me if you thought that was beneficial, that would help me. If you like the video, it helps me if you hit the like button. I would love it. You're a subscriber. I do appreciate my subscribers and appreciate the chance to spend some time with you and give you some ideas on ways to customize your ephemera to fit your journal and your style. Thank you.